So if you're like a lot of people living in Las Vegas or vacationing here right now, you're asking yourself, why is this place so screwed up over the last few months? And your obvious answer is C-19 pandemic, we're living in the middle of it, but it might be worse than that. So a scathing report has come out from the Review Journal claiming that Southern Nevada Health District, which is all of Las Vegas and Clark County, which is, I'll tell you why that's important, and also the Washoe County Health District have penned letters saying in unison, in uniformity, in cohesion together, saying that Sisolak has not consulted them. Governor Steve Sisolak of state of Nevada has not consulted the two largest metropolitan centers when he decides to roll out his policy for how things are going to operate under C-19. Of course, that's the pandemic that we're in. If this is true, this is alleged. If this is true, it's a very big deal. And it also lends a lot of credence as to why things are probably a lot worse right now than they really need to be. But without getting political, because I've had people, anytime I mention anybody that's in politics, I just get scathing kind of people saying, keyboard warriors firing up and saying, how dare you, too political, I'm out. I'm not going to tell you anything about Sisolak other than the fact that he is the governor of the state of Nevada. That's all you need to know. We're not talking about people with an R or a D next to their name. Well, you can go do your independent research and decide what you think after this video. So it's not political. This is very apolitical. This has to do with a leader, and this has to do with state. It has to do with two large metropolitan population centers that make up the bulk majority. So I'll explain that too and why it's important. How is it, everybody out there, for you today? My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I hope you guys would like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the future notifications so you know when I do my videos and go live. I am working on a very important video right now. It's regarding Circa and all that business. And I hope you guys would subscribe to the channel so you know when that hits tomorrow. And it's going to be a fantastic video. I think you're going to really like it. It's going to change the outlook of everything in Vegas and this channel. If you guys want to support, though, we have YouTube channel memberships, Patreon. You get your name in the credits, early access to videos, photos I don't post anywhere else. Also, VegasFacemasks.com, the only two masks you'll ever need. This supports the wife, and you get something in return. 2 for $25, VegasFacemasks.com, no S at the end. This is Halloween. I don't know what this one's called. I really was supposed to find out. I think this is called Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. Okay, well, my friends, yesterday the Review Journal came out with a report that said that the Southern Nevada Health District and the Washoe County Health District said that Steve Sisolak is not consulting them when it comes to making policy decisions for how to handle the C-19 pandemic and what should be happening. This is a very bad thing if it is true. Now, to their credit, the Review Journal reached out and tried to get Sisolak's office on the line. Of course, they responded and said, that's not true. We've told them everything. But we have to look at it this way. Why would they come out and say those kinds of things? We want unity versus division when it comes to times like these, don't we? Yes, we do. Even though a lot of you guys love this, you love the division. I see in the keyboard warriors tapping in all the time. We really do. As a human race, I think that the vast majority of us want to have unity versus division. Well, why would they do that then? Well, it could be because they're telling the truth. It could be because the governor's office thinks that they're doing a good job when they're really not doing a good job, and that possibly their opinion of the two giant population centers about how they should be consulted is very different than what the governor's office thinks that they're doing right or wrong. So it's important to note right now, the state of Nevada has a population of just over 3 million. I think it's 3.05 million people. But of that, 2.26 million of those live in Clark County. That makes this the biggest population center in the entire state. It also means that we have a very diversified economy throughout the state of Nevada, suffice it to what many of you guys might think. The vast majority of this economy is travel and tourism, with Southern Nevada making up probably 90% of all of the different budgets that go into fund the rest of the state. But you got to know that once you get into Northern Nevada, you have agriculture, you have farming, you have manufacturing facilities, you have mining and minerals, you have transportation centers and logistics. So what happens in one part of the state is not always going to reflect how you should run another part of the state, which is why if what the Southern Nevada and Washoe County health districts are saying is true, makes this even more of a kerfuffle, even more of a bad situation for us to be in. So you look at it this way. If I'm Steve Sisolak and I wake up today and I walk out the governor's mansion and I go down with my, do they get Secret Service if you're a governor? Tell me in the comments below. If I'm Steve Sisolak and I go out there with my Secret Service service or my security detail to get a Starbucks coffee up in Carson City, I'm seeing a place where the unemployment rate is 7.5%, where there's 27,000 people total, where almost all of them work in government type jobs because it's the center of the entire state government, and it's the Senate and the legislature is up there as well. But if I'm a regular guy Las Vegas, I wake up and I see businesses that are closed all around me going out of business. I wake up and I see, when I go to that Starbucks store, an unemployment rate of 15.5% as opposed to the 7.5% in Northern Nevada. I see a much different kind of landscape. So if we make policy decisions for the rest of the people based on what we see when we open up our eyes, then that's a bad thing. And I'm not saying that Sisolak is actually doing that. I'm saying that if they're doing that, that is not a good thing. Now, it could be possible that, again, nothing about this report is true, but if it's not true, then how come we do have such strange policy decisions coming out of nowhere? How come we had the bars closed for such a long time when people were able to go and sit for 2 or 3 hours in a movie theater next to each other? Oh, the obvious logic is people get drunk at bars and they can't help themselves and socially distance, and I guess that could be true, but if that was the case, then how come right now, the gentlemen's clubs seem to be open in Las Vegas, but the nightclubs aren't? Well, you can make all sorts of arguments and decisions. Now, again, I think Sisolak is doing the best job he can. I don't think that there's a single world leader or provincial leader or state leader or civic leader that was able to really predict what would be happening. But somebody once asked me in a video last night, what would you do differently if you were Steve Sisolak? I said, fair question. What I would do is I would go back to what he initially said, which wasn't phases necessarily, but opening up certain sectors. He said phases, but then he said we're going to look at it every 2 weeks. I would wait 3 weeks. I would open up the shows to a certain capacity that the health experts say is okay. And then I would wait 3 weeks to see if the numbers went up. And if they didn't go up, I would wait another 3 to 8 weeks and then open up the shows to a different capacity. We need to be able to open up things in the state. We have to be able to stop living our life in extreme fear of something that's becoming clearer and clearer more every single day, that it's preying on vulnerable people in the population. And there are the outliers who are otherwise very, very healthy who react very bad genetically, but we also have to look at the fact that 90 some odd % of all of the local businesses that have been tested in the last few weeks and tasked with the mask police coming through are doing a great job to actually take care of everything. They're doing a great job at compliance. They have no complaints with the state coming in and saying, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And the bad actors that are the ones that are not worrying about if their patrons are wearing masks in stores, and the people who are not really enforcing the rules, they're getting fines. People are cracking down. The casinos seem to be in unison with how they're actually responding to this. The local businesses are. So we have to make sure that we're not running the entire state like we wake up and we're in Carson City, Nevada, if that makes sense to you today. Now, I don't know if any of this is true. It seems like it's probably more true than it is not. I think Sisolak is in a rock and a hard place position. I think he has done a good thing in some ways, and I think he's done confusing things in other ways. But given the workload that he's likely under, and given the fact that he's only as good as the people that he hires around him, maybe it's time that we cut him a tiny fraction of slack, but just remind him nicely that the weird decisions that you're making maybe are based on what you see in Northern Nevada when you wake up and get your Starbucks in Carson City, Nevada, not based on the fact that we have crippling amounts of unemployment in Southern Nevada, businesses closing down all around us, and an economy here that, unlike where you are, doesn't rely on government, relies on travel and tourism. So let's work hard to fix it. That's my take on everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, my name is Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Please do like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell for the future notifications. Check out the channel memberships, the Patreon, or the Facebook group called Not Leaving Las Vegas. The Facebook group is free, costs you $0. Also, VegasFacemask.com. The only 2 you'll ever need. And if you guys want to reach me at stevenj at notleavinglasvegas.com, I would love to hear from you. All right, now's the time of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click, and we click out of here. So are you ready for this? 3, 2, 1, and thanks for watching. You're the best part of my morning. Click. Thank you.
Thank you.